This meeting is being recorded.
Whoa, that's a new voice.
That is new. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Is there a motion to open the planning board public meeting for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Gernander,
yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Kate,
Yes.
and then Mimi, is that a yes?
That's a
Okay.
yes.
Did you want to do the special permit for South Street?
I do, but I also think it may be valuable to take a couple of minutes and see if anybody wants to talk about the BES ordinance before we go into the joint public hearing with the city council.
Okay.
And I know everybody got the updated version. I have a comment from Nathan that he's not with us tonight because he's in a training for zoning in general. But he had just a question about whether in our definition section where we are defining small scale BESs with, as as being no greater than 200 square feet as a footprint. What happens if you put one in a garage and the garage is bigger than that? And he wanted to know whether we thought it would be valuable to address that and whether there was any likelihood of confusion with large scale BES ordinances or BES installations, and whether we could inadvertently be turning people's garages into sites where you have to go through a full special permit or site plan review. I think personally, the likelihood of confusion is minimal, but if we need to, we can certainly add a line somewhere in the draft addressing it. And Jeff, I saw your hand.
Yes, no, so thank you. I just want to note that in speaking with the gas and electric for the few occasions that we have, that if this was going to be attached to the grid, obviously they have to approve it and they have to have the infrastructure to take that charge. So I really don't think, or that electricity, I don't think that you're going to see many people turn their garages into these things, but also noting that if it's attached to the house, there's probably no jurisdiction anyways, but if it was detached, that might be the gray area.
Yeah. Well, I think if there is a gray area, I unfortunately do not have the note with me, but I think it would be an easy fix in the draft ordinance. We would just have to say something about, but it's probably already there because we already have specified that these installations have to be primarily for backup power for the structure on the parcel that they're built for, and cannot be principally for feeding power into the city grid. And the square footage of the is actually just if it's a standalone enclosure for only the backup energy storage, it's not going to be over 2,000 square feet. We just have to define a garage as not principally a BES structure.
So is this question is like actually turning the garage into a living space or removing the garage and putting a living space there?
Oh, this isn't even about living space. This is about if you have the equivalent of an electric generator.
Oh, you're talking about the battery
Yeah.
storage. Okay. I thought we were talking about the tiny homes.
Yeah, no, we are back to if you have this thing that probably realistically is the size of a couple of big suitcases maximum, and you stick it in your garage, which is a place where it can be housed, does that make your garage into an accessory battery storage unit? And if your garage is bigger than 200 square feet, are you then liable for site plan review for your garage? And I think the answer is no. And Kate?
It seems like you ought to be able to stick something into that definition. Because where it says occupying no more than 200 square feet, including its enclosure, it might be something like occupying no more than 200 square feet, including, if it is freestanding, its enclosure.
Yes, yes, exactly. That was what I was babbling around.
I had one other point, which I
Mhm.
think I've mentioned to you, Mimi, is that I think that what I would like to see, if it's legal to do it, is to include under the section that is about facility conditions and how the applicant needs to keep up the installation. This is for large scale. I'd like to find a way to include provisions for shutting them down if they aren't maintaining their facility. The way that there are provisions for it to be shut down if it's not properly commissioned. And then the next paragraph is about conditions, facility conditions. I'd just like to add more ways for the city to have the ability to shut a best down if it was not being safely maintained.
So do you think it would be useful to have any particular, should it be HG&E saying that it isn't safely maintained, or the building department, some combination of them?
Yeah, well, it's in that section, it says site access shall be maintained to a level acceptable to the local fire chief, HG&E, and building department. And maybe some similar language could be created about, any of those things triggering a shutdown if it wasn't acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
We don't want
Maybe-
people running unsafe batteries.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of whether we want it to be like X number of days to cure, and if it isn't cured by then, the connection to the grid shall be shut down. And before I say anything else, Rosanna, I see your hand.
I guess I'm just totally confused now, because I was under the impression that the battery storage facilities would be something that G&E would dictate and state where it's supposed to live. But now with the whole, that's why I'm confused. Like, what does a garage have to do with that? Like, why would somebody put that in their garage when I thought all that has to be reviewed before they even place it somewhere? So
Okay,
Nathan asking that question and you throw it, like, it totally threw me off, because I don't see how that's an option.
okay, I'm sorry. This is because I am having a bad aphasia episode tonight and I am being totally unclear. The
No, that's fine. I'm very
Yeah,
detailed, so
but
it takes
no.
me a while to capture things, so I apologize.
No, I think that I can clear this up. There are two basically separate sections to this ordinance. Section number 1 is we are allowing the little ones that would basically act like a generator for your individual house or business everywhere in the city as an accessory use. And those are the ones where they are usually tiny, no structure housing them, and only that is going to be any bigger than 200 square feet ever. But they could be, because they are so small, just tucked into somebody's garage, say. And we don't want a situation where it suddenly is, because you decided to put it in your front hall, for that matter. Now we are attempting to overregulate it. So he just wanted to clear that definition up, which I think Kate's fix, that says it is, the structure, the enclosure is the enclosure of the unit itself, and not whatever, wherever in your yard you put it. That takes care of his concern. The big ones are the 10A site plan review section. They are treated entirely differently under this ordinance. And that's the one Kate is talking about, where there are serious obligations to maintain these units by the third parties that develop them. HG&E is basically in a leasing relationship with these companies. And they are doing the primary review of their safety along with the fire department, and building department. And Kate's talking about what if they're not being maintained properly and we need to shut them down. And I've got raised hands from both Jeff and Jane, both of whom will probably be more coherent than I am. So Jane, you want to start?
Yes, so I was just gonna say, with respect to Kate's comment, probably a good spot, and just looking at the documents, would be a reference under the removal requirements, under 10A 113.
Yeah.
There's language in there that says a large scale BESS which has reached the end of its useful life or has been abandoned consistent with subsection 10A 112.2. We can add in like comma, so like useful life, comma, abandoned, comma, or not maintained pursuant to any rules and regulations, you know, facilitated or adopted by HG&E or whomever, and then have it say that it can be removed at that point. That's where I would probably place it.
Yeah, no, I think Kate's suggestion is that if we find that it isn't maintained, somebody should have the authority to say, you know, stop making excuses, we're pulling the plug on this until you get this fixed. And yeah, that is a place it could go. So Jeff.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure there's any real value add with this. I just know in speaking with Jonathan, I think it was last time, that it was kind of agreed upon in theory, that if you chose to, you know, these things are basically no different than the generator that's in your backyard that you could have being powered by diesel fuel. So there is a likelihood that you could be putting one in your garage. So I'm not sure if that adds anything, you know, in that they wouldn't want to stop the ability from someone to doing that if you're just going to backfeed your own system.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So I didn't know. I don't know if that was, I don't think there's any real value added. I know that was discussed with Jonathan saying that, well, no, we're going to still allow for these smaller installations, which could be no bigger than a Generac type, you know, diesel power generator or gas power generator.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that Nathan's suggestion really is only a matter of, can we add a little bit of language to make it clear that if you have this piece of machinery in your garage does not turn into a best storage system under our ordinance. And for all of the beating around the bush, I think that it is a relatively simple linguistic fix. So that was all I had on it, but I did want to just bring this up because Nathan had brought it up basically, and to make sure that there was nothing else we needed to talk about before we go attempt to explain this to the city council. And if everyone is satisfied so far and we still have time, then yeah, maybe we should attempt to do the special permit for sign size.
Did the city council get the drafts that we're looking at?
I thought they did.
Yeah, they did. I CC'd you into it with, when I
Okay.
sent it to Jeffrey.
Okay,
Yeah, I saw them on, that's how I grabbed them. They were on the agenda packet. Is there anything that anybody wants to discuss in executive session? I think, I mean, I don't think there's really an update on anything, but unless you guys want to do that, we could probably do that also now if you wanted to.
Well, I'm with you. I'm not sure that there is any update to be given.
Right.
all right.
Okay, then we are back to regular order. And first on our agenda is special permit for sign size for 185 South Street. And somehow Sharon has managed to come up with a draft in just these few minutes.
That's it.
Sharon's
And
the
this is
best.
why you're irreplaceable, Sharon.
I don't think everyone will agree with you.
I agree, but wait till everybody feels it. That's when they really gonna agree with me.
No, we agree. You are irreplaceable.
Can everybody see it okay?
Sure. Should we move on to findings? Or are people
Yeah.
having trouble reading it?
The proposed sign.
Appropriately supports the restaurant business that
Appropriately, yeah, advertise or
advertises and supports. The new business at this location.
about after business and before at this location, serving the community. That sort of answers our.
Good.
Okay, the proposed sign. If we're going down to neighborhood character and social structures, because traffic flow and safety, utilities and other public services, there's really not a lot to say. But the proposed sign is or does reduce the sign size and bring it into conformity with our ordinance, which the sign it replaces is not in conformance with. Rather, no.
Whoops. In the wrong spot.
Let's see, proposed sign,
Or.
eliminate a pre-existing non-conforming use.
Where are you, Mimi?
I'm back to neighborhood character and social structures.
Proposed
Um,
adult sign is or does reduce the sign and brings into,
yeah, I'm rewording.
oh, okay, so you put it in the chat.
Okay, yes, that's easier.
Okay. I was wondering who was typing.
Say something about is in keeping with the signs and neighboring businesses on this, in this corridor. I like the idea of including in here somewhere the the fact that their blockout section isn't a frame, but rather is intended to match with the building.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where to put that. Is it part of, it's part of our findings, right?
yeah,
Not part of our conditions.
yeah. Maybe just add a section 7. Or matching it to. Or wait, is there a better place for it?
I think that's reasonable, though, to put it there.
Okay, how about something like the sign conforms with our ordinance because its cabinet is a supporting structure and not part of the sign? Does
think
that
it's-
work?
I'm trying to write something about how it blocks out.
Okay,
What did she call it? Impermeable
Surface.
with an opaque.
I don't know the word she used.
Yeah,
I just wrote down that blocked out to look like the building and not a frame of the sign.
yeah, I think that works, and I would add then accordingly, the sign conforms with our ordinance because its cabinet is a supporting structure and is not visually part of the sign.
Kate, if you typed something, I don't see it.
I'm typing it right now and
Okay,
it's in the chat. See if that works.
okay. Whoops.
Yeah,
I'm just
Maybe
sticking
that
it here
would
to replace-
otherwise
Oh.
be included.
To replace everything that Mimi said as well, or?
Um,
yeah, I think that I accidentally just sent my wording to you, Sharon, and not to everybody.
Okay,
I can, however, resend.
That, I put it in the decision. You can all see that, right? This is what Mimi sent me right here.
No, there was a chunk of it that, that didn't get in there,
Okay.
which.
I
Okay,
see you, Nathan. Hang in there.
yeah, I thought that I admitted Nathan.
I did, but I have to, give him co-host abilities right there. Okay. Okay. So I missed the
This
piece.
is just repeated the part that I don't see in the decision. Or no, you've got it.
Okay.
I take it all back.
All right, so what are we doing with number 7?
I think that we use Kate's language for number 7 because it's clearer.
Can I just make one, could you add the word otherwise at the, near the end, as if it is not designed as a frame that would otherwise be included in the sign size?
Okay.
Okay, are we there?
I guess you're there. Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the notice of decision?
move that
Number, excuse me, number 6, fiscal impacts, the proposed sign. I took it from another one, may have a positive impact for the business.
I think that's fine.
Good, okay, sorry.
I move that we approve the notice of decision.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Gernander,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Kate,
Yes.
Mimi.
Yes.
Okay. Do we want to,
Everything else under zone change, site plan review, et cetera, depends on our having met with the city council first. We can move ahead to planning board business, project updates, old business, new business, if the city council still isn't ready for us.
Yep.
And welcome, Nathan. I'm glad that you made it out of your previous training session.
Yes, it ended at like 6:50, from 5:30 to 6:50. Was the CPTC zoning basics course. Thank you.
Well, obviously, you've made it in time for us to have discussed the best ordinance amongst ourselves and agreed to clarify it in the way you suggested. And we obviously have not made it to the city council yet.
Hi, Nathan. We miss you out today.
Or did you say you miss me?
A lot, man.
Okay. Thanks. I miss you too.
Okay, so over to Jeff, I guess, and Jane. Project updates, old business, new business?
So just briefly, the only thing I really have is just as an FYI, on June 5th, staff is going out to, I forget what it's called now, but it'll always be Bay State Kindred to me. So we're going out to Bay State Kindred to do a final walkthrough because they're gearing up for a, hoping to get their CO by the 9th. So staff is gonna go out there and kind of close the loop on anything that would have been outstanding in the notice of decision. The other item up that I've got is Holyoke Housing Authority, the South Holyoke Homes Project Phase 1 is also seeking a CO, and staff has already walked the site, but now we're just waiting for them to get us the final materials so that we can sign off for them as well. As you know, the Northampton Street Residential District, formerly known as Riverdance. They, believing they had the meeting this evening, wrote a letter of continuance from tonight's meeting in terms of preparation for the next meeting, which you've already all scheduled for July 11th, and they are aware of that now.
Okay. Any news
And
about a balloon flight?
yeah, and then as another lastly, another let's see, tentatively for June, July 25th. Levesque, it will be submitting a site plan for a Dunkin' Donuts at South Street Plaza. So tentatively, they would be scheduled for that night, pending they get us the information on time. So that's all that I basically have, unless the board has something else specifically they wish to comment or ask about.
How many Dunkin' Donuts we need?
One every mile.
That's what I was gonna.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. And
The ordinance committee
One
is
more,
ready.
Duncan.
Sorry, Sharon, they're ready for us?
They are ready for us.
Okay.
Okay. I need a
Sue,
couple minutes to walk down there, so.
Okay, and I'll head down there on Zoom. Are we meeting again here after? Well,
Well, if we wanted, just acknowledge that the meeting schedule is as is on the agenda. That takes care of that with the addition of the July 25th continuation of tiny houses. I don't know if there's any other zone changes we need to come back and talk about.
for clarification, Sharon, it actually says September 26th on the web agenda.
That is correct. That is jointly, we're going to be meeting July 25th, just planning
Oh,
board.
okay. Oh, great. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
So we have no minutes unless there are committee reports that people feel we need, then we could
Wrap up here.
adjourn the planning board meeting and just go over to the joint hearings. Otherwise, we could recess. What is the will of the board?
I think we're gonna be there so long that I think there's no point recessing. We're gonna be ready to be done when we're done there. So
Okay.
I would suggest that we adjourn and
I
take
like
the
that
rest of the
idea.
items up in 2 weeks.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
So-
Second,
Do we have a first and second?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nathan, Grinder and Nathan.
Okay, all in favor?
Grinder,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Nathan,
yes.
Kate,
Yes.
and Mimi.
Yes, thank you all, and I will see you on the other side.